Welcome back to our C Programming on the Web series of videos. We are taking a look now at how to handle forms in C. We're going to create a form in HTML and talk about a little bit of what happens in the forms and some of the things that you can do. And then we're going to send the output of that form into our C program. And I'll show you how to do that program, and you're going to extend this program to make it do some other things for yourself. But this is by no means the end-all, be-all of C programming of forms. I'm going to show you some very simple things that you can do so that you can kind of get started with this and have some fun with C. This is, again, not the end of the line. This is just the beginning of using C programming to receive input from forms. Let's talk about forms for a minute. When you create a form in an HTML page, it will have a number of input types. Some of those are text. That's the one that we'll use. It's just an input text box. Some are radio buttons, and radio buttons, if there's 3 or 4 of them, you need at least 2. I suppose to make a decision, only one of the set of radio buttons can be turned on, and the others pop out. And if you're old enough to have had an old radio like that in a car, when you pressed one button in, the other one popped out. That's why they're called that, radio buttons. Radios used to work that way. The checkbox type, you can have many of those, and that's when you normally fill out a form and you check for this or that mailing. It's usually a little square, and you check it and it gets a little check mark in it. That's a checkbox item, input type on a form. Forms also have an action, which is defined in the head tag of the form, the beginning of the form. The action will be either post or get. Get is the one that we care about for our example here. The action equals post means that the input data that is in the form, all the variables and the information that our client types in, will come to us on the standard in. Now, we're used to programming using the standard in. We've used scanf and printf to go to the standard out, and getchar and things like that to read the standard in. So that's pretty common. We've done a little bit of that. What we want to take a look at, though, is the query string. So our form is going to use the get action to talk to us, and so the information will come in an environment variable named query string. So I'm going to show you in the program how to get the contents of an environment variable and then work with it. So let's drop out of here and let's go over and take a look at our program. This is the program, and let me just fill you in with the form first. Here, let's take a look at the form real quick before we get into all the code of the program. The program will make some more sense if we look at the form first. Here's the HTML, the head, the title, the beginning of the body, all very straightforward. And here's our form definition. These lines from here to here make up our form on the screen. The action is the CGI program that we are going to call when someone submits this form, when they act on it and click the submit button. The method that the form will use is the get. And I think I did a bunch of explaining telling you the action was post or get, and that's obviously quite wrong. It's the method. So mentally revise that. Method is get. Action is the name of the program that you want to have run the CGI program. Here's some normal text that's going to show up on our form, and we're going to tell our client that this is where the first name goes. And then we have an input field, and the type of this input field is text. The name of this input field is very important to us, and it's called first name. This one is all lowercase. If you make it a combination of upper and lowercase, the way we're going to code our program, you have to remember what that is, because you're going to look through the environment variable that we get looking for this series of characters, first name or last name. So if you don't make it all lowercase, remember what you do make it. Then we have a simple line break, and then a last name and another input type of text, and that one is named last name. Then this is our submit button. An input type equals submit, and the value is what will be written on the button. It says click me. That's the end of the form, end of the body, end of the HTML. And this is hwform.html. I've put it in the CGI bin just so that it's where we can find it. So let's go to that. There we go. There's our first name, there's our last name, and there's our two input fields that is ready to go in there. And they're only yellow on mine because I have this little Google toolbar that wants to fill in a last name and first name field. It does that by looking at those names and figuring out what I've put in there before. If I view the source, here's exactly what was in our file that's there for the form that we just looked at, and our form action and method and all the rest of that. To see the name here of first name and last name, that's how the Google toolbar figures out that we probably want a first name or a last name, and it knows how to autofill that, in case you ever wondered why that works that way or how it works. So this is where we're going to type in information, and this is our submit button. I didn't put another break right here, so that's why it's on the same line with last name. But if we'd put a BR there, it would be down here underneath. So we're not going to click that yet because now we need to go look at the program that's going to receive this.